Today we are going to talk about my bike, the parts and equipments which I have selected to this bike, and also touch a bit about the position and aerodynamics. This is new Cervélo P5 Disc.
I think that this is the third season for this bike.
That is true. I changed my bike more than 2 years ago. Previously I had the Trek Speed concept, which still is fast bike, but at that time I felt that I needed to make a bit of changes to my position.
Awesome. Can you talk a bit about the drivetrain?
Sure. This is SRAM AXS 1x12, so that was also one of my main requirements for the new bike, to have 1x system, just to have this nice clean front setup, which might save, they say, almost 2 to 3 watts, and it also looks good. I mean, it's bulletproof for the races. You just can't drop the chain from this setup. And behind I have the 12 gearing cassette, which gives quite nice range of the gearing for any races. In the disc I use 10 to 26 cassette, and with 858 if the race course is a bit more hillier, or it's the conditions requires that I use bit wider cassette, 10 to 33.
You talk a bit about the wheels already, so this is the race day setup?
This is my normal race setup, so chip Super 9 disc at rear, and then in the front 858 wheel. And as said, for example in Kona, I would use 858 also in the rear.
How about the hydration setup?
Basically, you have 4 positions where you could put bottle in this bike. So I have this rear bottle cage, which I use quite normally. Maybe not in shorter races. I take it off to save couple of watts and use only the frame aero bottle. But this is the main cage for the bottle in longer triathlon races. Then we have this Cervélo own aero bottle in the frame. So this bottle comes with the frame. Normally during the races I put the gels here with the water, so that would be my main carb or energy source for the race. You could put also bottle here on the top frame. So what I have sometimes used to actually put this second aero bottle here to bring more, to carry more liquid for example, during the long rides. And then the 4th place would be here in the front, but unfortunately this setup here in the front, which I have, I can't fit any bottles here, so I need to kind of manage with these 3 positions.
As we can all see, this is a disc brake bike, which is what you wanted, and naturally this is your first triathlon bike with disc brakes. How have you coped with those?
Yeah, so the disc brake was one of the main requirements for the new bike. Not really just because to have more powerful brakes, but because industry is going into that direction, and I have a road bike with disc brakes, so it would be more convenient to have all the bikes with disc brakes. Also, So during the race, you not necessarily in triathlon races, you don't need the disc brake power, but I must say that I have loved these disc brakes, especially because in Finland it's raining quite a lot, and these will stop you in any conditions.
We went through the wheels already, but we forgot to mention the tires.
Yeah, so I'm using the Vittoria Corso Speed G 2.0 version. So this has been tested several times as fastest tires, and even though these are a bit fragile, you can add the needed puncture resistance with the sealant. So I'm running these with the tubeless setup.
Is this only a race day setup, or do you train with those tires too?
I'm also training with these tires, but I do use other tires too. But these are my main race tires.
Also, when we forgot to mention the tires, we went through the drivetrain, but I think we forgot to mention the power meter.
Yep. So this is I'm using the integrated quark power meter, which is integrated into the SRAM AXS system in the hub. So this is very reliable and easy to use.
The logical next step is the pedals. I see you have the speed plates there.
Yes, I have selected the speed pedals just to give this nice floating feeling, which I really like, so that your foot is in the right position all the time. And also this gives you a bit lower stack comparing to other pedals, and with lower stack you can actually get the whole position a bit lower, which gives you aerodynamics.
That's not the Speedplay Aero pedal. Is that for training, or why do you don't have the Aero one there?
This is the normal Speedplay. This is just for the training, so during the racing I use the Aero version. During training it's easier when you can actually put your feet either side.
You mentioned lower stack. What does that mean?
So with lower stack I mean that the combination of the pedal, or the height of the pedal, and the cleats with Speedplay system, you get the foot closer to the pedal axle. If we think about in the lower position, if our foot is lower, we can actually put our seat a bit lower, which enables a bit more aerodynamic position. And to get even lower, I'm using also almost mid-foot cleat position. So this is Pont bike shoe, and what I have made is to create custom holes in these shoes so that I can get the cleats almost in the mid-foot position. So this enables also lower seat position.
That's an awesome segue to talk about the saddle.
Yes, so I'm using COP 55, this double nose type of saddle, just to get the kind of good support for my aero position. Saddle itself is quite individual thing, so you always need to select the right saddle for your position. I feel that this saddle brings quite nice support for the kind of for the hip and enables comfortable front position.
I happen to know that that isn't the only saddle you have tested. What other saddles you have tested and you have used?
So previously I have tested the quite known ISM saddle, which is also this double nose type of saddle. So this ISM saddle is a bit wider compared to my current COP 55 saddle. I have also tried this Bontrager adjustable double nose saddle. The difference between these saddles is that the width is a bit different, and also you have a bit different level of cushion here in the saddle. The main reason why I'm using this saddle at the moment is that this enables quite nice support for the hip, and especially to roll my hip forward to get as aero position as possible.
Looking at this bike, we can see it's quite close to the standard P5 disc, but of course the cockpit is quite a lot of different. Can you explain that?
Sure. So P5 disc is coming, or this bike came with UCI legal front, including the extensions and a bit smaller pads compared to what I have here. I used actually that UCI legal setup during the first year. It worked fine, but I felt that I was not that comfortable in the position what I kind of thought what I could be. And the main reason was because of my shoulders are a bit tight. So in the UCI legal front, my shoulders were quite wide. So to get a bit narrower, I tried this bit kind of adding angle to the front. So currently I'm using 30-degree angled pads and Aerocoach extensions. And in this 30-degree position, I felt that this is much more comfortable. I'm also much more narrow on the shoulder level, and we have tested this on the field that this is actually 10 watts faster compared to the original UCI legal position.
In triathlon, we naturally have the run after the bike. How do you take this account when finding the perfect riding position for you?
Good question. So to enable better transfer from the bike to running, I have selected 165 cranks into this bike. In previous trek bike I was using 175 cranks, and I feel that these shorter cranks created quite nice or big change compared to the longer cranks. So what shorter cranks does is that in the upper position, crank position, your foot is actually 1 centimeter, in this case lower, which opens quite nicely the hip angle. And that is very important when thinking about running after the bike, so that you are not too tight here from the hip, and you are able to have this right running position quite immediately when you jump out of the bike. If you think that you need help with aero position or your bike setup, we have just launched a service for you with Ville. Check our new website, aerolab.fi.